and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this video. Well, hello everybody, so good to be with you, and today we are going to expose two lost discoveries which have been suppressed. I believe quite conclusively now, having researched this, that these discoveries have been suppressed. We're going to read about them in the old newspapers, which is very exciting. Something I love to do as a historian. I hope you're going to enjoy it too. Discoveries made in 1935. And these are the two suppressed discoveries that I've been able to uncover. A huge shaft under the Khentkawes pyramid. And just some background, this is this Khentkawes pyramid. It is basically, it looks like this. There are no shafts underneath, according to the mainstream. And a second discovery, which was in this fascinating thing here, subway found beneath the pyramids. Supposedly a subway linking underground pyramid complexes, so between the Khafre pyramid and the Menkaure pyramid. Nothing like this exists today. It's fascinating. Just some background. The discoveries were made by a fellow called Dr. Salim Hassan. He excavated many pyramid shafts all over Giza. His original notes are lost, unfortunately. Many of his original notes were never published. We don't know quite what he excavated, and if you do want to get into greater detail, you're going to really have to fork out a lot of money for his publications on eBay, which is a pity. But we can look at what was reported in 1935, and it's just so interesting. So let's start with this article, a very fascinating article. Below the pyramids, subway found. Now this is something which is just not in the mainstream at all. Some of it is. The colonnaded hall of rock, yes. The journalists are a bit confused. This refers to the water shaft. The water shaft, Mr. Salim Hassan was not able to excavate totally in 1935. It was filled, the bottom half was filled with water. But we're going to read this. It's fascinating. Let's get to it and let's analyze it, okay? So, below the pyramids, subway found. Colonnaded hall in rock. A subway connecting Khafre's pyramid city to Cheops pyramid city. What are they talking about? Has been discovered in the course of recent excavations. This has been cut through the solid rock, states the London Daily Telegraph. More remarkable still, a shaft 11 yards long was found to lead from the subway to the heart of the rock. When examined, it was found to end in a chamber some 6 yards by 11 yards. From one side of it, there was a second shaft leading 16 yards further down into the rock and ending in a hole somewhat larger than the upper chamber, with 7 smaller chambers leading from it. In 2 of these, basalt sarcophagi were found. Now, these sarcophagi have gone missing. These are the sarcophagi of, you could call them the ancient giants, maybe. They are the same as the sarcophagi in the Serapeum. It seems they are talking so far, we're up to here, about the water shaft or Campbell's tomb behind the Sphinx. But let's continue. From one of these side chambers, a third shaft runs down another 14 yards into the rock, ending in a colonnaded hall in which 3 more basalt sarcophagi were found. Now, these have gone missing. I think we only have 1 left now. So far, the bottommost chamber, which is some 65 yards below the surface of the causeway, has not been investigated, as it is partly underwater. The chambers are, according to Professor Salim Hassan, the Egyptian excavator, of the Saitic period, about 600 BC. It is known that between the Saitic and Ptolemaic periods, 600 BC to 200 BC, the pyramid area was used as a burial ground, and that materials from the 4th dynasty tombs, dating some 2,800 years earlier, were used for these later burials. Indeed, Professor Salim Hassan has been able to reconstruct some of these 4th dynasty tombs with original material collected from several points half a mile or so from the tomb itself. But these later burials have almost always been above the earlier ones. This quest for a burial place so far below an older burial ground is most unusual and recalls the now historic tomb of Khenthawes, mother of Cheops, which Dr. Reisner has so dramatically found hidden in the living rock some 32 yards below the causeway leading from Cheops pyramid to the pyramid temple. Professor Hassan has found that both the paths on either side of the causeway leading from Khephren pyramid to its temple have been paved. The latter undoubtedly permitted the undisturbed passage of the king's car to and from the burial place. So, what this article has revealed is quite interesting. It has described in the text essentially what we already know, that there is a Campbell's tomb. There is a tomb going down. It was thought to be the tomb of Khufu, because it's a shaft going down, and then there was a coffin surrounded by water right at the bottom. Robert Temple used some thermoluminescent dating to indeed date this, the bottom part of this, to the Said period, but those basalt sarcophagi must be much older. Indeed, I think he said they were from Romania. This type of rock was from Romania. But here's the thing, here's the problem. It talks about this subway connecting Khephren pyramid to Cheops pyramid city. And then that was not repeated in the rest of the article. That's something new. Let's get on to the second article. And this is quite interesting. And now we see another discovery, which is not in the mainstream at all. It talks about a huge shaft under the Khentkawes pyramid. And we know there is nothing there. That's a cross-section of the Khentkawes pyramid. Nothing there. There's no shaft. And it talks about an epic shaft going down. So let's look at this. And this is so fascinating. Discoveries at Giza, a pyramid city and temple. A few years ago, Professor Selim Bey Hassan, excavating on behalf of the Egyptian University, identified a small pyramid in the Giza area as that of Khentkawes, daughter of the king Menkore of the 4th dynasty, who built the 3rd pyramid and reigned from 3011 to 2988 BC. This season, Selim B. Hassan has continued working in the same area, which lies southwest of the famous Sphinx, and has made some interesting finds. East of the Khentkawes pyramid has been uncovered a pyramid city with the houses of attendant priests. Now, this is the city of the Menkore pyramid builders. We know about this. The walls are made of unburnt mud brick. There are men's and women's quarters, bedrooms and granaries. Nearby is the libation tank cut in the solid rock with steps descending into it. Just above is the tomb of an official called Mednefer, who superintended the rites of purification in the tank. The title inscribed on his tomb is Purifier and Director of the Sacred Water, a duty which he would have to carry out in the afterworld for the spirit of his deified queen. South of this pyramid city has been found the Valley Temple of Khentkawes, with beautiful alabaster bases of columns and a pillar with hollowed top for incense. It is connected by a stone-flagged staircase with the adjacent valley temple of her father Menkore. But a more interesting find was made at the southwest corner of Khentkawes pyramid, where a large narrow cleft in the rock has been excavated to some 32 feet below ground level. It is about 115 feet long and 14 feet broad at its widest part, being fashioned with a broad curving beam and a high narrow prow and stern in the shape of a felucca or Nile boat. Now that is all new to me, that you have this shaft going down 32 feet below ground level. That's weird. Let's continue. An ancient Egyptian belief. Selim B describes this as a cleft for the boat of resurrection. The ancient Egyptian belief was that whereas the sun crossed the heavens daily from east to west, it returned every night by the underworld from west to east, and so the mystical boat conveyed the sun god below the earth to its resurrection every morning. It is the most impressive discovery that Selim B has made for a considerable time. The actual record of a will or testament occurs in a double tomb, where the father, who was the king's friend and controller of the palace, is buried with his son, there being 2 false doors for their respective cars or spiritual bodies. On the mural reliefs, the son is depicted holding his father's will in his hand. Above, sitting in rows, are the witnesses of the document, no fewer than 15 being apparently required. Sealed chamber. And then it goes on to talk about the sealed chamber, the statues of Ank-tef and his wife in another mastaba. Both statues are intact and must be among the finest examples of art of the Old Kingdom period. Now, guys, that is all quite interesting. So we've seen that there is a huge, there is a shaft under the Khentkawes pyramid. And then there is a boat-shaped room. And then indeed, there is a subway linking the underground pyramid complexes. But as you see, there is hardly anything in the text of the articles describing the subway. And we see from the cross-section of the Khentkawes pyramid or tomb that there is nothing, there is no shaft, even though it's a kind of mastaba. What's going on? Now, a little bit more background. The Khentkawes pyramid is basically one of the oldest structures at Giza. It looks like another Sphinx. And this has been pointed out by myself and various other YouTubers. Khentkawes herself was late in the 4th dynasty, but there are some people say she is actually the mystical mother of Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. And these were triplets. And it was a difficult birth. According to the Westcar Papyrus, her name may have been Rejejet, and she gave birth to these triplets, and they vowed to build temples to honor their ancestors, which were the Giza pyramids. Khentkawes, the name Khent, it's a goddess name of Eurasia. Rivers in England, the same goddess is in India. It is a goddess name. The pyramid itself, it doesn't even face north, south, east, west. It faces a strange angle. It seems earlier than the rest of Giza. What is going on? We only know that there are 6 small storerooms near a burial chamber and a pair of false doors. And the pyramid itself is accessed by a gateway of pink granite from the southeast. I think all this bears hints of truth, verisimilitudes of truth. What is going on? Thank you so much, guys. Cheers. Does the subway even exist? Hey everyone, I am a historian and a published author on Amazon. Check that out if you're interested. Also, don't forget to subscribe, share, and hit that bell. And I'm on Patreon if you would like to make a contribution. Cheers and have a brilliant day.